Welcome to our Hope Project discussion to discuss pressing problems in Kenya, specifically the problems facing the youth of the country. I'm joined with me today several of our students as well as one former student. I'd like to start by having them briefly introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Maximila Ateno and I'm a former beneficiary of Hope Project. I've just completed my diploma in primary education and I am a teacher by profession. Thank you.
My name is Amis Matano. I'm still a student and I'm in my second year of secondary education.
Hi, my name is Emmanuel. I'm in my third year of secondary education at St. Charles School.
Hi, my name is Angela Mda. I'm in my second year secondary education at St. Charles School.
Hi, I'm Shamina. Currently I'm attending University of Mombasa.
So I'd like to begin by asking you about what challenges do you see in your lives, and specifically what obstacles do you see to having the kind of life that you want, the success that you want to have, the kind of jobs and life that you want to have. What things are in the way and what things do you face every day? Can you talk a little bit about that?
So thank you, Mr. Rich, for that opportunity. So challenges that are facing Kenyans and youths at large, there are many, but to start with is corruption. We have corruption, we have tribalism, we have drug and substance abuse, we have things to do with mental health, which has been a major problem for the youth. So with corruption, you find that most of the youths are not employed in Kenya, and for them to find a job, they have to. There is this notion that you have to know somebody at the office. How do we put it? The godfather and the godmother. So if you don't have an upper hand, or if you don't have anybody to push your papers, you might be there staying at home jobless. So corruption is the key issue affecting the Kenyans at large. Then when we talk of the mental health is an issue in that most of the youths are depressed. Reason being maybe lack of job, the poverty issues that we are facing. So, but there are many ways of dealing with stress and dealing with depression, because we say that once you are depressed, once you are stressed, you can't do anything. And most of the time you might find that you're thinking some evil things and you may end up losing you. Thank you.
Another effect that affects the youth in Kenya, it is the early marriages on the other hand, female genders. This problem is caused by, majorly in Kenya, is caused by poverty. Poverty leads to early marriage to those families which cannot handle themselves. To this point, they may like giving their child so that they can get money to do other stuffs. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to talk about drug abuse. Most of our youth in Kenya are mostly affected with the drug abuse. This is due to peer pressure, sometimes even bad parental care. I would like to talk about the peer pressure. Most of our youth are being introduced to drug abuse with their friends, and this drug abuse, they can lead them to severe illness, or others can join into bad gang and their life end up in jail. Others might even lose their lives because of the drug abuse. Okay.
I would like to talk about poverty. In poverty, you can find that some young leaders, they can even decide on trying to be kidnappers or robbers, since they don't have enough cash to build their life, to get a successful life. In poverty also you can find that in those young leaders, they cannot even maintain their standards and they cannot even get a successful life.
I want to contribute to what Maximilian earlier said on the tribalism. In Kenya now it is very difficult to get a job if you don't belong to a certain particular tribe. For example, if you don't belong to a tribe that if a boss is in a tribe that you don't belong to that tribe, you might not get that job. And the other point is the culture, particularly in girl child, the FGM, female genital mutilation. Girl child are very suffering from the FGM because of the circumcision, and in the circumcision, a girl might lose a lot of blood, which may cause her to die.
So you talked about several different things that are impacting the community. I guess chief among them may be corruption, but also alcohol and drug abuse and female genital mutilation and things like that. How do you see them all tying together? Are they, and like what do you see as the causes of these issues?
Thank you. So the causes of all those problems which we just mentioned, the corruption, the tribalism, the FGM, they all start with an individual. Some of them, they are individual push coming from the society. Others also considering the economy of the Kenya, how things are. Things are not easy. The economy has shooted. Things are expensive. So you might find that people are engaging in this activity so that they meet their daily needs, of which when you try to look on the other side of it, it is bad. Because once you engage yourselves in all these manner of corruption, tribalism, FGM, they bring negative impact to the society or rather to an individual.
Other than individual, there is political instability in which the government are not much concerned about the generation of the country, in which it leads to the youth find themselves in a way that they are on their own being. There are no other to escort them to pursue their goals. So the government is also the major cause in which make the youth not to achieve their goals.
Okay, another thing is about in Kenya there is no mentorship, creation of awareness. People in Kenya, they must be taught on these negative impacts which they bring in our country. Like they must create awareness on how drug and abuse affect our countries. They must mentor our youths. For example, they can introduce games and sports so that they can keep them busy.
You can find that there are the young leaders, they can lack support. As for the poverty, in terms of poverty, you can find that the young leaders, they don't have enough support from the community, the society, or even the neighbors, the loved ones. So they lack support from their people, from their loved ones, and this can be.
The causes of this, I can add on what Maximilian said, the corruption. It is due to poor governance. If the leader is corrupt, obviously cannot lead the other people in a good way. This causes tribalism and biasness. And the point of culture is here in Africa and it has been here. So the FGM, it is going on and people see that it is necessary to follow what the culture says, even if it is undermining us as females.
So I think you did a great job at overviewing some of the issues. Can you make it a little bit more personal? Like, can you talk about, like, you have all these issues and you all kind of all see them. How does this, I guess as a youth in Kenya, how does this make you feel? How do you think, I'm sure you talk about it like with your friends and colleagues, what does this do to the community in terms of their feeling and how they feel about the prospect for the future and their future success? Can you just talk a little bit personally how you see this all playing out?
Personally, I see that despite all the challenges that you are facing, I still believe that the future is promising and good things are coming despite everything. Because when we talk of corruption, I think it's all starts with the values. If you have the good values, you are able to know this is good and this is bad. So it is you personally, first of all, you have the values so that you are able to determine whatever I'm doing, is it good or is it bad. And also once you are able to understand things to do with values, you can as well share with your friend or your neighbor or society that once you engage yourself in such activities, it brings harm to the people and also it brings harm to you or the family at large. So I think values, it's very, very important in this case, if you can uphold the values.
So we've talked about a number of issues. Can you speak a little bit about, are there particular groups in Kenya that are most susceptible to this, say like marginalized groups in Kenya, to any of the problems that we discussed?
Yeah, I would like to talk about the refugees. When the refugees are coming to our country, they are coming to search for a better place to live, because where they've come from, maybe there is drought or war. So when they come in our countries, there is those officials who they are given that opportunity to handle the refugees in our country. So they have been given enough money so that they can cater for the refugees, but the officials who they are given that money due to corruption, they are taking the money, they're just putting them in their pockets and do their own things with the money, but they are not doing what they are meant for the refugees. Thank you.
So to add on about the marginalized communities, these are people that live also in slums areas. For instance, you might find these people coming from slums, they are not able to meet their daily needs, and things are not good in slums. So thank God that we have different NGOs, we have CBOs coming on board, assisting these people education-wise, also providing them with basic needs like education, like shelter, and providing them with water. You might find when you walk in these slums, we have tanks, and they are written, donated by maybe World Vision Bank, also like Hope Project, it is helping orphans pursue education. They are meeting these people from marginalized areas by providing them with education and also ensuring that they are living in a better place. At least they might be better people in future, because once we say that once you are educated, and we believe that education is the only weapon that one can use to change the world. So once you are educated, you are able to be self-reliant, you are able to depend on yourself and at least support your family. So I believe once these people from marginalized area are being supported, are being given the basic needs, one time or in future, they will be very, productive people in the society. Thank you.
Okay, to add on the marginalized group, I would like to add on due to drought in Kenya, the elderly and the women who are expectant, becomes very difficult for them to live, because if there is no food, one may lack energy for one to be productive in life. Yes.
To add on that, another marginalized groups are the street families, in which they are the worst group and most affected, in which they are exposed to all kinds of difficulties like drug abuse, prostitution, and other kind of effects. To thank God, there are those NGOs and the government also are looking forward for that issue. Thank you.
So obviously everyone here is a beneficiary of Hope Project, at least from a schooling perspective and then helping in your home lives. Can you talk a little bit about what do you see as the role of like NGOs, but not just, but say externally from Kenya, but also like communities, organizations within the community, the local churches. What do you see of their role in this whole thing? What are they doing today? What are they not doing? What could they be doing? Could you guys talk a little bit about that?
I like to talk about the church. The church, they are creating seminars for the youth so that they can mentor them about immorality in the society. For example, the use of drugs and also prostitution. So they are creating awareness on how drug abuse is a bad crime in a society. Another thing, they are teaching about moral lessons so that they can live in a community and pursue their goals.
Also, to add on my brother, whatever he has said about the NGOs teaching the youth. In these NGOs, we find that when the schools are closed, the beneficiaries are not left at all, or they are not left behind. You will find that we have seminars. In these seminars, we are being taken through sessions on life skills, whereby one is able to deal with day-to-day challenges. Because I believe once you receive the relevant skills, you receive the things that will enable you to cope up with challenges, because professionals are brought on board where they teach us, they counsel us, so you don't feel that you are alone in this world. So you feel that things are good, and one day, one time, everything will fall to this place. So NGOs are really playing a big part, plus the churches, the community-based organization, and also the government, because they have to partner. You can't run an NGO without getting that consent from the government. So these things, they work hand in hand.
To add on the benefits of NGO in Kenya, they are really having a positive impact in our lives today. In particularly the FGM, we can see that in today's world, the NGOs have come to Kenya in order to curb the FGM and help the girl child. And we also see that there are some churches that have been built in order to rescue the girls that are having a high risk of undergoing the FGM in Kenya. And I can also add on in our schools nowadays, most of the boarding schools, there are a lot of cases of school bullying among ourselves, the youths particularly. So some of the groups in the NGOs come to schools and tell and teach the children on the importance of being together, and we should not have some cases of bullying in school, particularly in school, because in some cases the one who is built as in suffers a lot and might even die because of the bullying in schools. Yes, thank you.
So I want to wrap up this discussion by talking and asking you personally, what do you see your role in terms of combating the issues that you brought up today? Because to be honest, again, as I started out this discussion, you are the future of Kenya, right? You're the youth and you're the future of this country. But to be honest, you have to drive and develop your own future, because you have to enact the changes that you want. You have to make a reality the future that you want. So I guess I want to ask, like, what do you see your role moving into the future? How do you combat these? And you can talk personally, and then as a youth group in general, and you and your colleagues in school, you know, they're coming up through this. How do you see this all? How do you see working together and making positive change within Kenya?
I just want to tackle on the drug abuse. According to the youths nowadays, they are using drugs due to laxity and laziness. And I'm seeing that when you build or bring about job opportunities, it might create it might bring the youths together so that they can leave alone the drugs and start doing jobs and make themselves busy. And also the corruption in the country, the leaders who have been caught doing the corruption practices, they should all be locked in cells so that they can learn their lesson and stop the corruption in the country. And also the culture in Kenya, the female genital mutilations, the grandmothers and the grandfathers who are forcing the girl child to do the circumcisions, strict measures should be taken so that to curb the FGM in our country, in Kenya. Yes, thank you.
So Charlene, you gave some things that you could do moving forward, but they're not like personal. I want like actionable things, like things that you as a person, or Hamisi or Max Miller, or anyone, that like the things that you can affect to make happen. Because you can say, oh, we need to throw everyone in jail, whatever it is. How is that ever going to happen? So I guess I'm trying to get you to think, what can you do personally and as a up and coming group, and hopefully sometime you will be in power. You know, what can be done?
Okay, I as Charlene, according to me, and I'm also a girl, if I record a case of FGM in our community, I'm going to pertain the responsibility to go and take the people who are associated with the act and make sure that they don't do it again. Yes.
Thank you. So to add on whatever Charlene said about the FGM, personally, being a teacher, most of the time I do interact with the learners, I interact with the society at large. So my role, I will ensure that I set aside a day whereby I invite all parents where they come to school. We have, maybe it can be on a Saturday, so that we don't interfere with the normal learning in school. So on this day, I sit with them, we have, a talk whereby we speak on day-to-day challenges, like when we talk of unemployment, how can you solve the unemployment issues? Because you can't sit at home saying that you are waiting to be employed. You might give or rather advise the parents to think of different ideas, thinking of opening up a business, starting a small business at home, rather than sitting at home waiting to be employed, whereby you know that the population of Kenya, the population is too high and the job market, it's very minimal. So you can curb these issues of unemployment, according to me, by bring the parents on board and give them possible solutions on how to open a small business. Like they can have a kiosk at home, they can prepare food and sell to the people. At least you can get something and take care of your family. Also with the learners, I can have a session with them, teaching them about life skills. Nowadays with our curriculum, we have life skills as a subject. So I can have a session with them and they can be able to cope up with challenges and day-to-day challenges that they face. Thank you.
Okay, I personally, I can create a group discussion for my same age so that we can talk on matters which they are affecting our community. So we can teach ourselves on how drug abuse and immorality in society, which is negatively affecting the community. So we can just form a group which we can use to discuss on matters affecting the community.
To add on Emmanuel's point on the drug abuse, personally as a youth, and I've seen several of my age mates being dragged to drug abuse. I might go in hand in hand with the NGOs for them to help me to build maybe a rehabilitation center to help my fellow youths who have been damaged by the drugs, so that they can be fine and come back if they're free from drugs and better their lives for future. Yes.
Okay, I as a student, I would like to know about my rights and get rid of those positive, those negative things that will affect me. So, on me, I will work hard and learn to know my rights so that I will not be corrupted or to be exposed in those things that affect my goals.
In terms of drug abuse, I want to add up on some few concepts. There's some, let me just say, like young leaders, the girls, the boys. Not all of them they are addicted, but you can find that they are already addicted from young age, since they've already since the young leaders, they've already been addicted by drug abuse. You can find that it's hard for them to disqualify the drug abuse. Maybe you can find the counselors from different groups, maybe the NGOs, or maybe teachers from schools. You can find maybe they have already decided as a team to help the young leaders to avoid drug abuse. Thank you.
Just to add on something before I forget about FGM, the gender-based violence. As a teacher, I will create awareness, because most of these people, most of the parents, they are not aware of what's happening. To them, when they do FGM, things will be well with their girls. But we will say knowledge is power. So I will take that initiative of creating awareness to the society, to the parents, and telling them the repercussions, the side effects of all this gender-based violence. Because once they have the relevant knowledge, I'm sure that these cases, you won't hear them on and on. So it is our own initiative, not only me, but also my fellow students here, to create awareness at home, even in the society. At least with that, cases will be minimal. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our discussion today on these important issues regarding the future of Kenya. These are the future of Kenya, and I want to thank our students here for giving their input. But we're helping them, the whole project is helping to give them an education, but we also want to empower them to be the people that they want to be, not only in their own lives, but to enact change within the Kenyan society, to provide the lives for them, their families, their friends, and the community that they would like. So thank you again so much for joining us.